Hello, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi coming to you live this October 15th at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, to take your questions about U.S. immigration law live like we do every Tuesday for the last, 4 years now that we're doing it. And we're going to continue doing it, helping you all out to have general educational guidance about the U.S. immigration process. I know it's confusing, doesn't make sense a lot of times. And we're here to kind of help you make a little more sense. But to really get into your individual case, a private consultation is needed. So the info here is just general education, not intended as individual legal guidance. But having said that, if you're interested in a fiance visa, marriage green card case, download our guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's free, 70 plus pages, really breaks down like a lot of things. It has samples, all that kind of stuff. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's the website, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. But for now, we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok taking your questions. And they're going to start popping up in a second because we just started right now. We're going to get inundated pretty soon with a bunch of questions, what typically happens pretty quick into the show. So we're ready for you here. And before we start that, one last comment I want to make is if you ever are going to sign us up or to sign up with us to do any legal work, we always have a video consultation, 98% of the time with myself, sometimes with my associate attorney, Arnie Sergeyeva, but you're going to see us on video talking with you. So if someone contacts you on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and trying to negotiate a contract for you to pay a bunch of money, unless it's an initial consultation fee, even then you have to go through our websit, jqqlaw.com/contact, but you're never going to pay legal fees without seeing me and us talking, because I really want to get to know clients, have a deep relationship. If you look at our reviews on Google, type in JQK Law, and Ruby, you see what kind of service. It's really a personal experience that we have with people. So we don't just email you to pay $2,000. That doesn't happen. That's a fraud. And unfortunately, we're getting more and more people contacting us like that. It's pretty terrible. I'm very sad about it, but that's the world we're living in right now. So let's jump into it. Sunny asks, can we upload a new I-64 online with new tax year 2023? You don't need to upload a new one if you already submitted one with your case. If you get a request for evidence and they permit uploading it to the online system, you could try that, but you don't have to keep uploading it. The time you file it is enough. Thank you for that question, Sonny. Okay, I think there's something going on. Usually we have 100 or so people in the show, and we only have like 5. So I think there's some sort of glitch going on in the different social media spaces. We're being shadow banned or something like that. But yeah, they're coming. Area 2, 3, just the numbers are going up. Okay, so if you have general immigration questions, let me know. We're going to get a bunch of questions coming in pretty soon, which is usually the case in our Tuesday sessions. It's the 15th of the month, too, so we got to deep into it. Delays are getting better in some instances. For example, adjustment of status in the United States has gone faster, especially for marriage to U.S. citizen cases. But on the other hand, if you're doing certain embassies, not so much. Zareen Hod asks a question. What is the question, Zareen Nijad? Let us know. Kadia says, I had my hearing, but the judge did not give the decision. I have to wait for that, unfortunately. Mind Your Business says, what's your thoughts on PIP about Barker's request? I don't really have opinions on different things. We just wait to see what the final decision is. A2K Games asks, why is this not stop moving? Can you apply on NIW on F1 as an Indian national? So the national interest waiver is a special green card category, EB2C, for people that work is in the national interest. And F1 is a student visa. So asking if I'm on a student visa, can I file for a national interest waiver? I'm Indian. What will be the implications on travel if there's no emergency at home? So the government says that they'll be flexible about it if you have an I-140 pending or approved for NIW, and but you never know what's going to happen. If you leave, they might accuse you of immigrant intent, not allow you to come back on your student visa. So I would not travel. And the extra problem with the Indian cases is the backlog. So it's going to take a long time before you could apply for a parole, advanced parole, to be able to travel. So to be safe, better not to go. It's not impossible. Most likely you'll be okay, but there's risks involved to it. You may want to go from F1 to H1B, and then once you have the H1B, you'll be flexible on it more. But that's the situation there. I think my internet's not being good because it just cut in and out. That may be one of the reasons why little questions are popping as much. Zareen says, or is it better to do one at the time? So, Zareen, we only got one of your questions, the second part of your question. So please ask your full question again, Zareen Najad, on Instagram so we could properly answer that question. Okay, more likes can attract viewers. ABC says, hello, sir. Can I ask a question about the cosigner? We don't know someone that can cosign our papers. Would it be possible that the wife will submit my taxes to and assets? Would it be possible that Al, the wife, will submit my taxes to? Could you fix up the second part of your final question, because it seems like typos in there, so it's not clear what you're exactly asking, ABC. Feel free to share our live on TikTok. It says encourage your viewers to share your live and invite more friends. That'd be great if you could do that. Each one teach one asks, my 2017 taxes are going to get reviewed. CP11 notice I owe because I did not submit my A8634 for educational expenses. Can I claim I do not owe taxes on my N400? I mean, if you owe, you owe. You're saying I owe because I didn't submit this, so you owe taxes. So you need to figure that out. Have some sort of either deal with it or have some sort of tax plan with the IRS, or that's going to potentially lead to a denial of your citizenship case. So you need to figure that out, because you can't claim you don't owe taxes if you do. So that's fraud. So I don't know. It's a pretty answer your own question right there. Sierra says, hi, can I go visit my home country after I became a U.S. citizen through asylum? The legal answer is no. You shouldn't use your passport or go to your home country. In practice, I've never seen them say anything about it. But they don't want you to use the protections of your home country, whatever that means. User 3 says, will USCIS find out you put U.S. citizen on I-9 form when you're a minor but had work authorization? That's terrible that happened. Will USCIS find out? I don't know. I can't judge the future. They may or may not. I can't answer that. Serena says, are you a lawyer? Yes, I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer. Wahid says, I-730 transferred by USCIS to Turkey field office. What do you think? Is it good or bad? It's not bad. They opened up a field office in Turkey to handle these kind of issues with 730. It's going to make it faster. It's probably good, but I mean, I haven't seen it, and who knows if the government was good or bad. Probably it's good. User 307 says, will USCIS found out you put U.S. citizen? Already answered that question, so I don't know if they're going to find out or not. I don't have that. Okay, please don't ask the same question over and over again. It'll force me to mute your account. User 30 says, you're lagging. Yeah, unfortunately, the internet's being pretty crappy. Ken says, I'm an H-1B holder. Can I have a business like TikTok affiliation? Probably not. It's these new technologies, not clear what the rules are, but I would side with the fact that it's unauthorized employment, so I would not do that. User 307, maybe. I can't really answer what's possible in the future. So that's about that. You could stop asking the same question over and over again. Okay, I'm unfortunately have to mute your accounts. Mute. Okay. Each one follows up. They wanted evidence of payment plan if I owe, but I know I will get a refund after they review my A8634 form. Thus, will not end up owing taxes. Worst case, I'll pay IRS before I'm interview. I mean, if you run the risk, I mean, eventually at the interview, you just deal with it. But it's a risky maneuver if you don't have the final paperwork. But it's up to you. I don't know how long the IRS is going to take to figure their stuff out. Why is the internet being so bad? I'm so sorry, everybody. Kenneth. Oh, no, I used the right phone, yeah. Kenneth, I answered your question. Wahid, I answered your question already. Sierra says, can I go visit my home country? I already answered that question. A lot of repeat questions, probably because the internet's cutting out. But Sierra, I can't legally say you could do that, but in practice, I've never seen it be a problem, but the law says you shouldn't do that. Saida says, hello, sir. I changed my status from H4 to F1, and after going to my home country, I went for stamping and it got rejected. What do you think the probabilities for the rejection? We got rejected. What do you think the probabilities for the rejection, or the possibilities of the reason? Immigrant intent, probably. I don't know. MCs suck like that sometimes. I don't know your case details, so I really can't speculate. But it doesn't matter what I speculate or not. I mean, I'll have to really look into it to see if it's a mistake. But they could do that kind of stuff. I mean, eventually you have to apply again because your spouse is here. You have school to go. Give another shot. Different consulate, maybe. Okay. So, yeah, it's one of the problems that happens in immigration, especially dealing with the embassy system at the consular, is you never know what's going to happen there. If they're going to just make things up or deny things incorrectly, it's pretty devastating when they do, and that's the problem. They don't, it seems like, appreciate how difficult life is on people with this kind of stuff, but it's always a crapshoot. Each immigration case, that's why people always want like answers like it's like cookie cutter the same. Each person's life is different, so the immigration case is going to be different. Both their lives are different, their facts, and also the officer reviewing the case is going to be different at any time. So you never know how things are going to work out at the end. We kind of give estimates or averages or expectations, but you never really know. Even a perfect case could be denied incorrectly. Munter says, hello, Big Boss. Good to see you, Munter. These monkeys want me to get a fourth COVID vaccine, all kinds of vaccines, not to mention diversity. Visa case numbers have been the same for October or December. Well, sorry about who wants to give you more vaccines? I mean, I don't think you need them anymore as long as you have, like, I'm not sure what the rules. Yeah, I don't think you need a new one. So I'm not sure who's telling you that. Try to go to another doctor. Alice asks, If I send invitations for tourist visas with my brothers, reduce chances or better send one at a time. So Ali, you're joining me on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page where you're watching this. I have a detailed video on tourist visas, which says there's no invitations. There's no need for invitations. So watch the video there. I'm very against sending invitations unless you're getting invited by like Mercedes USA or BMW USA to come visit their factory because you're a mechanic in their, some shop over there or something like that, or a family member sending invitation letter is worthless in my opinion. But yeah, it could be wrong. Watch my video. That's my opinion. Each one says, let me rephrase my question. When I submit my M400, do they have access already to my tax record? I had a gut feeling they do. They do if they want to, so they may come. I don't know. They historically no, but the computer systems change all the time to get better at it. Moon says, you need a COVID booster in the last 12 months. That's why they're telling me in Canada. A lot of the countries just say we don't have it anymore, so clients haven't had to do it. But there was some stuff of like, the 12-month booster bullshit. Yes. But a lot of countries other than Canada I'm dealing with at the embassy, they're just like, yeah, we don't have to give it. We don't need to give them anymore. So like from Armenia or like there's a lot of countries I've been dealing with recently. They're just like, yeah, don't worry about it. So it's been pretty good. Sorry, Canada. Canada's just a mess. Lauren says, I don't know if you can answer my question. How long does work permit take? Okay. It depends on what kind of case and what kind of work permit you're talking about. If you're talking about a C9 marriage adjustment, for example, work permit, those could take about a month right now. Sometimes taking 9 months. So maybe fast, maybe slow, maybe long, maybe short. You just kind of have to wait. It's never know for your case. You're welcome, Ali. I appreciate it. Let's go back to TikTok. Aisha says, if someone files for F2B while in the U.S. after overstaying, do you have to leave to come back? Unless you have some sort of exception, you'll have to leave, but then you'll be stuck with the 3 or 10-year bar to be able to come back. You have to file a waiver for that too, so that's going to be a problem. Lauren Jabber says K1 visa. So you don't want to file for a work permit with the K1 because that's a waste of money. You want to file it with the adjustment of status. And usually they're taking 1 month right now to get the work permit, but it could take 9 months too. You never know on this kind of stuff. So let me explain what the 3 and 10-year bar is about, actually. So if you're a person who overstayed a visa more than, or just entered without permission and stay, I mean, geez, what's going on in my TikTok? Let me try to change up the internet and I'll give it a second. Why does it keep cutting in and out? It's horrible. This one's not much better. So people on TikTok, take a pause. We're going to get back to you. Okay, hopefully TikTok's back. Back. So if you're outside the U.S., inside the U.S. for over 180-day overstay, then if you leave, you're a 3-year bar on reentry. Now, if you've been in the U.S. more than a year, you're subject to a 10-year bar if you leave. There's waivers possible, but it has to be by a spouse or by a parent. So that becomes an issue. Now, let me restart the internet. Stay on page. Okay, looks like I'm back. Okay, everybody. Hopefully, thank you for waiting on YouTube and hopefully the internet gets better and you can stay online. Very, very annoying that happens, but it is what it is. Okay. Gianna, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Internet's still cutting out on YouTube. So I don't know. We might call today short because it seems like it's cutting out so much. No one can even ask a question. We'll give it another minute to hit the 15-minute mark. But yeah, if you're interested in a marriage green card case or fiance case, we have a detailed guide on this. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com, 70+ pages. Check it out. Marriageimmigrationlaw.com is where you can find that. Having said all that, I think we're going to cut today's session short because of technical difficulties, unfortunately. It won't allow anyone to even ask questions to log in because it keeps shutting off. It's unfortunate that's the case, but hey, it happens sometimes. We still made it. Only in the last 4 years, maybe 2 times we didn't come, and that's probably because I was sick or something like that. Even when I'm on vacation, I do it. World says, if I stayed 1 month on a tourist visa, how long after that can I re-enter? In your opinion, there's no opinion. It's up to the officer at the border and what they're thinking you're going to do. If you're going to stay or not stay, if you're working with authorization, what's going on in your life. It's not a matter of my opinion, because my opinion doesn't matter here. It depends on at the border, the officer you're dealing with, and your personal facts, which have no facts on, and then just stayed on a tourist visa once. So you have to follow up, sir. I'm planning to apply for a change of status again. Apply for OPT, and after approval of OPT, will my visa get approved when I go to my home country? It's the same thing. It's up to the consular officer if they're going to approve your visa or not. They could unnecessarily deny your H-1B too. So who knows? Tomas says, good evening. My 751 and 400 interview is coming up. Any often overlooked document I should bring? I mean, our never overlooked, because we prep our cases, so there's never overlooked document. It really depends. Overlookedness would be if you have a unique situation, but obviously there's marriage certificate, a previous divorce certificate, passport, green card, maybe driver's license. Those are the general stuff, but then we got to see what's going on with your case. Aisha says a question or answer in detail about the 3 or 10 years. So what happens, Aisha, if you overstayed, you may be subject to a 3 or 10-year bar, which you need to have waived. So since the F2B, your parent is probably a green card holder, or they are a green card holder. So you need to file for I-601A waiver first. Once that's approved, which should take 1 to 5 years, then you leave to go do your embassy interview. Aisha, schedule a consultation on us. Again, it's an I-601A waiver that you're going to need in this kind of case if you overstayed to be able to get the green card. You're welcome, Toma. All right, seems like some questions are coming. Let's stick around another minute, add another minute to that to see if people could get their questions in, because the internet keeps cutting in and out and preventing people from asking questions. You're welcome, Aisha. I appreciate it. To contact us is jqqlaw.com/contact. That's our website. That's the place to go, jqqlaw.com/contact. If you contact us on Instagram and stuff, you'll get an automation that says to do that, and as well as on Facebook and stuff like that. There's people on Facebook making profiles of me, on Instagram, on TikTok. If they tell you the phone number to text, it's all fraud. I says, would it be easier if I file after they become citizens? No, they can't. I mean, your parents, if they become citizens, it becomes problematic for you. It's not that problematic. You just turn to F1, but you can to F2B. So it doesn't matter for citizen or green card holders. You need to, if your I-130 is approved, you need to just file for the waiver. I says, how long to wait the application back if credit card declined to process? Depends on the post, but it could be a week to a month. That's why we don't let our clients charge cases, because their credit cards get declined. It creates havoc, especially if you have a deadline. It gets really nasty. If you pay for USCIS with your green card fees, the application fees, if the card doesn't go through for some reason, it's declined, they send the whole case back. You have to restart it and send it back in. So that's an annoying thing. You're welcome, Aish. Thank you so much. Hope we get a chance to talk, or with my associates or myself. Okay, so Aish says, what about diversity visa for overstaying? Same situation. You're going to have to leave, and if you leave, you're subject to a bar. So you got to get it waived first, and you're not going to get it waived in time for a diversity visa lottery. So that's like maybe worthless if you use that. Just stick with your F2A most likely. But again, I'll have a private consultation. Timo says, I travel quite often to USA. I would like to visit in Iran, but after that, not possible to use S anymore. That's correct. It's very hard to beat you if you have in Iran. Yeah, you have to get it. At the end of the day, if you're European that has to apply for a tourist visa and not use ESTA, it's not hard or easy. It's just random. They may not issue the visa, so you run the risk of losing ESTA. My family's from Iran, very beautiful place. I'm not sure it's worth using ESTA for. And that's the Iranian talking to you. Don't mess around and lose your ESTA for no reason. Iran's wonderful and stuff, but ESTA is very powerful. It comes to the United States without getting a tourist visa. That's very good. I ask, is K1 visa more reliable or CR1? It's not about reliability. It's just about which one you want to use. K1 has some extra costs towards the end of it. A third of the price is added. And then it's that's personal reasons. Usually we just do CR1 because there's these are fiance visa versus marriage green card. Marriage green card is typically better because once the embassy interview happens, you just get a green card once you enter the United States. But the fiance visa, you got to enter, then apply for a green card. So it adds time, delays in work authorization, and also more money, more filing fees, more attorney fees. They're a lawyer, so why bother doing that? Now, some rare cases, fiance visa makes sense for unique kind of circumstances. 99 out of 100 times, it's marriage. How long does asylum seekers get their work permit? It varies. Can you talk about the pro and play? So pro and play actually is a lot of different programs. It's the new program that they added is called Keeping Families Together, and that applies to spouses of U.S. citizens. So it doesn't really apply to you if you're B unless you're married to a U.S. citizen. If you are, you would just get a green card through them. So I'm not sure if that applies to you. I says, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cool. We got some questions popping in as the internet's getting better. Zainib says, hello, I'm a nurse from Turkey, adjusting my status from F1 to E3. Oh, great. My priority date is April 2024. Do you think I'll be able to get my EAD this fiscal year? I'm assuming I'm current on Chart B. I don't know. That's guessing the future, Zainab. Also, when do you think the current? Again, these are like Young G. I answer your question saying I don't know. Work permits take a very amount of time. I don't know. He says, thank you. We don't do asylum cases, so we don't typically have to deal with, but with asylum applications. So maybe talking with a lawyer that does asylum applications is good, but we don't accept asylum cases at our firm. Sean says, hi, good night. My son got his biometrics notice before me. Is that normal? We filed together. VAWA. It's not abnormal. It's just the government. And that I wouldn't read too much into it. As long as you got a receipt for your own case, you know you have a case pending for yourself. I says, I overstayed for 10 years, so I'm trying to find a solution other than getting married. You're going to get a waiver, or unless you have to see if some sort of exception exists. U visa 245I or something. Because let's say F2B, if your parents got green cards, they probably got it through one of your siblings, but let's say you had an uncle that applied for them and you were a part of that case, like 25 years ago, you may be a 245I exception. So you probably don't have exceptions, but you can always look into it. Schedule a consult and get an interview at the embassy. Just make sure the waiver, the only waiver you need is for the overstay, not for anything else. And then the other issue with the waiver is, let me invite my friend on. The other issue with the waiver is that sometimes you go to the consular processing is some of the embassy or the medical checkup before the embassy, and the doctor makes up things like you're a drug addict or alcoholic, and that voids the waiver. You have to get a new one, which is a disaster, but they sometimes do stuff like that. It's really ridiculous. Okay, I invited some people on the show. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll see. Okay, well, we'll end the show pretty soon. Usually I do a show standing, and right now sitting on this desk right now. It made my shoulder hurt. KO says, what if we can't get back in? My biggest fear? Yeah, that's my biggest fear too, is disaster, KO. I don't it usually works out. I hear you. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. It is what it is. At least you got a waiver approved. Let's take like 3 or 4 years, 5 years sometimes to get approved. So you're on your path. Most likely, statistically, most likely be okay. But it is super nerve-wracking to leave the U.S. to do an embassy interview because you have like an overstation in the United States when that happens. All right. Sorry for the people watching on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And it's just like weird that I keep going in and out like this. On Instagram, he's shutting down. Oh my God. I see myself frozen on Instagram. It's really a mess. Sam says, if there are no tax returns, can you use an affiliate support to substitute? Affiliate support? The affiliate support, I think you mean a joint sponsor. But no, the petitioner sponsor has to submit affiliate support from IA-64. So if they didn't file taxes, if they're not supposed to, like they didn't make any money, that's fine. They write information for that. But they were supposed to, you got to figure out, you got to follow those taxes.